Well, first of all, I love the blog. I love the fact that you're just brutally honest about on the pros and the cons, and you let fans write to you and you actually answer the questions and truthfully. And he actually does go against the line a few times when it deals with chair hogs. Really, is his big issue.
Yeah,
So
I'm very lucky. When they asked me to start writing the blog a few years ago, the first month, and I didn't know anything about blogging or anything. I'm about as computer savvy as a hamster. I'm just dreadful. But after I'd done it for a month, and they said, "Well, this is keep it going, please, please." One of the things that I sat down with the guys in the office and said, I'm happy to do this, but I don't want it to be a blog that is everything in the garden is rosy all the time. If we make a mistake, I think we have to write about it. It can't be Carnival's the best all the time. It has to be, we did this, it didn't work, so we're going to try this. And I'm very, very lucky that Carnival support me 100%. There is always a second pair of eyes that look at the blog, and that's something that I like, because sometimes I'll say something which I think hasn't crossed the line, way over the line, and sometimes they'll say, well, I'm not sure about this one, maybe you should rewrite it, but that's a very rare thing.
why Galveston for the Magic? We love to have it here. I live here in Houston. Sailed out of Galveston several times. Going back to the celebration days, the rickety one.
Yeah, celebration. Yeah, that set the scene, and I will answer that question. There are two sides to that question. There's obviously the ticket value. There's obviously the bookings, but there's also the thing that I've sailed. I've been with Carnival for 25 years, and I've sailed out of every home port. There is not a home port that has people in the state and the states nearby that have more passion and love for cruising. As an audience, the Texan crowd is unbeatable. I mean, they are unbeatable. And the way they talk to the crew, the way they just love cruising. And it made absolute sense. Florida was very upset, but it made very much sense to bring our new ship here because it's such a hugely important market for us. It's a great revenue market for us, but also the people here love cruising, and that's why we want to give them our new ship.
I thought it was because we didn't get the space shuttle, and
You
you
didn't get
felt
the
bad,
space
so
shuttle.
you figured you should
You didn't
put
get
a
the
ship
space
in.
shuttle. No, we wanted you to have the space shuttle, and also, I think it's got a lot. It's got a lot to do with the fact that it's also a great facility. Just walking off. This is my first time. I was here for 3 months on the Carnival Conquest as cruise director 3 or 4 years ago, and I never got off the ship. I never had time. I've been here 2 days, and it's the first time I've had a chance to walk around. It's a fantastic place. I've put on about a pound. I was actually no, never mind. It's a great place. The food is fantastic, and everywhere I've walked, people are wearing the Galveston loves Magic. You call them buttons, is that right? You
Yeah,
call them
pins,
badges.
buttons.
Pins. They're all wearing those. I've met a lot of my people who read the blog here, and they all love the pre-stay, and I think it's a great thing for Galveston because I know for a fact that many people love to come here and stay a night or two before the cruise because they love Galveston itself. So I think the hotel industry does very well out of us as well.
Yeah, we missed you on the Conquest. Ralph took over
That's
when
right.
we went on.
Yeah.
What's his nickname?
Wee Jimmy.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. He's good.
Yeah.
We like him.
He was with me as my assistant for a long time.
Fantastic. You started as a bartender with the line 20 years ago?
I started in 1987 as a bar waiter, and after a few months they realised I was the worst bar waiter the company had ever had. So eventually they gave me a microphone, and I hadn't ever held one of those before either. And eventually I was promoted to what we used to call a social host, which is like an assistant cruise director. So I was an assistant cruise director for 2 years, and then 1990 promoted to cruise director. And back then it was rare because every cruise director in the industry had to have an act, had to have a talent. They were singers, comedians, jugglers, and I had no talent, no act. And a lot of the older cruise directors said, this guy, what's he doing? I think one of the things I'm most proud of is since then, not just at Carnival, but in the industry, the old adage of the cruise director having to be a performer has changed a little bit to them being people and not necessarily based on their act.
All right, I'm a two-time Name That Tune champion. I've got the plastic chip on a stick, trophies to prove it. I'd love to go one-on-one with you on Name That Tune one day. Maybe.
You're on.
You've
You're on.
We've got.
I tell you what. You come and take a cruise with me on this ship, and I'll do the Name That Tune if you do a slide race with me.
I'm down.
All right.
All right,
A
we're going to
slide
shake on it
race.
right now.
You're on.
Here it is. You just
But
saw
I get
it.
to keep my socks on because that's my trade secret.
Okay.
Go faster socks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.